May turned out to be my highest income month of the year. Over $1,600 landed in my account from dividends, distributions and interest. Let's break it all down. Welcome back everyone. I'm Linus, aka the Swedish dividend investor. So, May has wrapped up and May is my highest income month since I hold some Swedish stocks and they usually only pay once or twice per year. Before we dive in, let's go through the agenda quickly since we have 22 payments to go through. We will go through the following: my portfolio value and performance year to date, all the distributions, dividends and interest rate income I got paid in May. We will compare it to May of last year. I will show you guys how my portfolio is currently looking. And I will go through what I bought and sold in May. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my own investing journey, my experiences and my analysis. Read the full disclaimer in the description. If you're new here, I have two portfolios currently. My main portfolio and my case study high yield portfolio, where I invest in high yielding single stocks. So the combined value of my portfolios are 1,475,901 Swedish crowns. The dollar is 9.3 Swedish crowns as the recording of the video. So that's $158,699 or about 136,481 in euros. Year to date, the main portfolio is up 9.08% and the high yield portfolio is sitting at negative 4.23%. Since it's about 10% of the total value, let's just move the decimal to the left and remove 0.423 from 9.08, and we get a performance year to date of about 8.66%. I did briefly pass 1.5 million Swedish crowns during May, but we will get there again soon enough, so no rush. Alright, let's go through my payments for May. Starting off with the first week, where I received 4 payments. First out is Capital Southwest, ticker CSWC. I won't spend much time on the BDCs in this video. I am in the process of moving them to another broker, since my current one stopped trading with BDCs. CSWC pays a monthly dividend, and this month my 80 shares each paid me 0.1934, so a total of 15.47. But as we know, taxation is theft, and in the case of American stocks, I do have to part ways with 15%. So we remove 2.32 and we land at a net payout of $13.15. Another BDC coming up. Gladstone Capital, ticker GLAD, another monthly paying BDC. Gotta love that monthly cash flow. My 100 shares each paid me $0.15. Galaxy Brain math comes out to $15. And yet again, the taxman needs to fuel the war machine. So we remove 2.25 and we land at $12.75. Sweet. Let's do another one. Pennant Park Floating Rate, ticker PFLT. What do you know? Yet another monthly paying BDC. I used to own this in my main portfolio, but I moved it to my high yield portfolio. My 203 shares each paid me 0.1025, so 20.8 in total. Removing the tax of 3.12 lands us at $17.68. Next up is a Swedish favorite. Cibus Real Estate. Yeah, they apparently removed Nordic from their name. Ticker CIBUS on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. A rare gem in Europe, and it's one of the few monthly paying companies out there. I do like it, and I've held them for quite some time. My 443 shares each paid me 0.7525, so a total of 333.36 Swedish crowns. Now, I don't pay any taxes on dividends from Swedish companies, but let's convert it to dollars so everyone knows how much it is. We land at a total of $35.84. Summing up the first week and the monthly total so far, we land at $79.42. Sweet. For the second week, I received 3 payments. First out is Altria Group, ticker MO. Ah yes, the SIN stocks. I bought them cheap with a high yield, and now they are somewhat overvalued, and I wouldn't hesitate to sell them if I only knew where I would put my money to work. My 82 shares each paid me 1.06, so a total of 86.92. Removing the theft fee of 13.04, we land at a net payout of $73.88. Nice, almost what the first week paid. Time for my biggest holding. First Trust Vest S&P 500 Dividend Aristocrats Target Income ETF, ticker KNG. I hate the long name, but I love the ETF. It was love at first sight for me. Dividend Aristocrats with a conservative option strategy. I made it my biggest position during March, and I can't stop buying it. This is part of my core 4 holdings. I don't pay any taxes on dividends from ETFs domiciled in Ireland. My 755 shares each paid me 0.1435, so we land at a total of $108.34. Thank you very much. Time for my oldest holding. Exact Nordic High Dividend Low Volatility ETF, ticker XACT Edge DIV, on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Like I said, it's my oldest holding and my first investment. It has a great performance with a high yield and actually a pretty high dividend growth rate. Sadly, it has been overvalued for quite some time now, so I'm just waiting for a better opportunity and collecting those sweet dividends. My 590 shares each paid me 1.9, so a total of 1,121 Swedish crowns. Converting it to freedom units, we land at $120.54, and again, no taxes. Summing up the second week, we land at $302.76. Adding it to the monthly total, we get $382.18. Moving on to the third week, where I received 4 payments. Starting off with the JP Morgan family. JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF, ticker JEQP or JEPQ. I sold JEPI and moved it to JEQP. In hindsight, a smart move. Higher yield and better performance. My 112 shares each paid me 0.2156, so a total of $24.15 and 0 taxes. Thanks. Let's move on with the oldest brother. JP Morgan Global Equity Premium Income ETF, ticker JGPI or JEPG. Another one of my core 4. It used to be my biggest holding, but now it's my second largest holding by invested capital. It has been lagging a bit as of lately, but it doesn't bother me. I see it as an opportunity to load up on more. My 480 shares each paid me 0.1924, making the total $92.35 and no taxes. Let's do a first on this channel. JP Morgan Europe Equity Premium Income ETF, ticker JEEP or JEPE. Ah yes, JP Morgan's newest ETF. I saw it and I liked it. I made it a part of my core 4. It has been performing very well. Kind of annoying since I wanted to buy even more. This is their first payout, and I do believe this is 2 payments in one, since they didn't have any distributions for 2 months. My 475 shares each paid me 0.2433, so a total of 115.57 euros. Converting it, we land at $134.06. Awesome. Another scene stock coming up. British American Tobacco, ticker BTI for the American ADR version. Good old BTI. Sadly, I had to let it go. It was highly overvalued and I sold it to lock in the gains. I might pick it up in the future if they come down in price. I made good money throughout the years, and stay tuned for later in the video where I go through how much I made. My then 143 shares each paid me 0.834, so a grand total of $119.26 and no taxes on UK stocks, so thanks. You will be missed, BTI. Summing up the third week, we land at $369.82. Adding it to the monthly total, we arrive at $752. I'm a small creator on YouTube. Hitting the like, commenting and subscribing helps out a lot. Thanks! For my 4th week, I received 8 payments. First out is Realty Income, ticker O. I feel like a broken record now. A bit expensive, and I'm waiting for a better price and collecting the dividends along the way. They have started to decline a bit, so hopefully I can add some more. My 111 shares each paid me 0.2705, so a total of $30.03. Removing the tax of 4.5 lands us at $25.53. A final BDC payment is next. Hercules Capital, ticker HTGC. This one is a quarterly payer. This month they did pay a special dividend, so my 104 shares each paid a combined dividend of 0.47, a total of $48.88. But we do have to part ways with 7.33, making the payout after theft $41.55. A very mixed bag is up next. Global X S&P 500 covered call ETF, ticker XY7D or XYLU. The Global X covered call ETFs don't always bleed NAV. They have started to go up as of recently. Maybe that's a sign of a topping market. Anyway, my 210 shares each paid me $0.1295, making the payout without tax $27.2. More Global X. Global X Nasdaq 100 covered call ETF, ticker QYLE or QYLD. Nice yield and a pretty decent total return so far. I just wish they were a bit more conservative with their option strategy. My 196 shares each paid me $0.165, so we land at $32.34 tax-free. Global X Euro Stocks 50 covered call ETF, ticker SY7D or SYLD. Now, don't get fooled by the Euro Stocks name. They actually don't hold these stocks. They hold American stocks and use swaps. So, it's a synthetic ETF. I bought a small position just before the launch of JEPQ, but I'm holding and watching how it behaves. My 125 shares each paid $0.1159, so a total of 14.48 euros. Converting it, we land at $16.8. Let's go to a neighboring country of Sweden. Aker BP, ticker AKRBP on the Oslo Stock Exchange, or AKRBY for the American ADR version. Now, the oil sector in 2026 is crazy. I didn't sell at the top, but I have given it some thought, and if they go above 366 again, I might sell them. I bought them for the dividend, and if I can't buy more, it is better to lock in those gains. So, my 103 shares each paid me 6.1285 Norwegian crowns, so a total of 631.24 Norwegian crowns. Removing the 25% theft of 157.8, we land at $473.44. Converting it, we get $51.07. Pretty sweet. Invesco Nasdaq 100 Income Advantage ETF, ticker QQIA. Man, has this been performing great or what? When I made my video about this ETF, we took a look at the American version and it kept up with the QQQ in total return. Seems like this one is not different. A great yield and great performance. It has actually performed much better than I thought it would. My 158 shares each paid me $0.1538. That comes out to a total payout of $24.3. Last payment for this week. Tele2, ticker TEL2B on the Stockholm Stock Exchange, one of the big telecom giants of Sweden. The performance on this has been a bit shocking. Just before the ex-dividend date, I was up over 100% on share price alone, and I've been paid high dividends for a couple of years from this company. They do pay twice per year, in May and September. This month, my 430 shares each paid me 5.25, so a total of 2,257.5 Swedish crowns. Converting it to the freest of units, we land at $242.74. Summing up the fourth week, we land at $461.53. Wow. Adding it to the monthly total, we land at $1,213.53. Alright, for the fifth week, I received 3 payments. First out is HAN ETF, Infrastructure Capital Preferred Income ETF, ticker ASWN or PFFI, the last of the core 4 holdings. I can't really add much here, except it is price stable and the fixed monthly dividend is very sweet. My then 733 shares each paid me 0.1339, landing us at a net payout of $98.15 and 0 taxes. Last dividend payment is next, but not the last payment. Kopparbergs, ticker KOBRB on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Another Zinn stock. This one sells ciders and beers. I've had them for quite some time, and I don't find anything wrong with them, but I do get a bit annoyed with the once per year payment, and basically flat performance for a couple of years. I might as well sell it and put it in something with a higher yield, like PFFI. Anyway, when I get paid, I do get happy. My 400 shares each paid me 7.5, a total of 3,000 Swedish crowns. Converting it, we land at $322.58. Let's rip the band-aid and do the last payment. And that is interest rate from my savings account. I only get an annual 1.3% rate, and I have to pay a 30% tax. But at least they do pay interest monthly. I was paid 43.8 Swedish crowns, and after removing the tax of 13.14, we're left with 30.66 Swedish crowns. Converting it, we land at $3.3. Alright, summing up the fifth and final week, we land at $424.03. Finally, adding it all up, for the grand total of the month, we get $1,637.56. That is bonkers. In euros, that's 1,408.3. Now this number would be even higher if Vår Energi didn't delay their dividend into June. Let's compare that to May of last year. So I track every payment in my dividend tracker. We can see I was paid 12,755.35 Swedish crowns last May. That's $1,371.54 in today's dollar value. Calculating the difference using the following formula, we can see an increase of 19.39%. Next month's number to beat is 4,381.56 Swedish crowns, or 471.13 in today's dollar value. So stay tuned to see if we beat it or not. I added a section, total dividends all time. This is everything I have been paid since the start. Now, this is with some dividends in June included, but it's crazy to think I have gotten almost $24,000 or over 20,000 in euros. Taking a look at my dashboard, in my last monthly update, the total value listed was 1.46 billion Swedish crowns and an after-tax income of 106.6k. And when we look now, we can see 1.49 million and 106.4k in after-tax income. How come? Well, as I told you guys, I sold BTI and I haven't invested all of the capital I freed up. I actually have almost 70,000 Swedish crowns in cash, excluding my cash buffer of 40,000. That's both from my monthly savings, the dividends in May, and some capital left from BTI, about half of it. I am looking for an entry into WINC, but I am in no rush since they go ex-dividend in the middle of July, so I'm staying patient. And I just jinxed it. Here it is in dollars and in euros. Taking a look at my income and allocation, we can see my top 5 income by holding is the following: KNG 11.6%, PFFI 10.8%, JEPE 10.7%, JGPI 10.3%, and Vårenergi at 4.2%. So 5 holdings are paying me 47.6% of my total income, and almost 60% of my income comes from ETFs. Let me know if you think this is risky. For my buying and selling for the month, I sold 143 BTI at $65 flat, so that freed up $9,295 or 87,531 Swedish crowns. Throughout the years, I've received 13,470 Swedish crowns, or around $1,448 in dividends. I bought my 143 shares for a total value of 47,191 Swedish crowns, or $5,074. Calculating the total return in Swedish crowns, I made a total return of 114.02%. Pretty good for a dividend trap. My buys for the month. I have been a bit more careful with my buying, since I do believe there might be a correction coming and I want some dry powder. But I bought 30 shares of JGPI at 22.43 euros, 37 shares of PFFI at 16.81 euros, and finally I bought more KNG, 35 shares at 17.29 euros. But I want to know how your month was. What was the grand total or your biggest payer? Let me know in the comments. But that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay smart, stay patient, and keep stacking those dividends. Ha det gött!